Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Happiness Retreat. I'm your host, Kimberly Treves, and today we have the good fortune to be in conversation with my dear friend and colleague, the beautiful and multi-talented Susan Mislick, who is the founder of Sweetradianceqigong and an all-around expert in the subject of source energy, which is flowing through everything, the universe, our bodies, and so on. And if I may add, Susan is angelic. And every time I think of her, I just think of little angels fluttering around my head. So hello, Susan. Thank you so much for joining us and taking your time to share with us today.
Kimberly, thank you so much for the invitation to be a part of this beautiful program. And I'm delighted to be here today. I look forward to sharing with you a number of different wonderful ideas and experiences.
Perfect. So, as this conversation is all about spirituality and the soul and becoming a master of your own energy, I'm so happy you're here to tell us all about Qigong as a vehicle for transformation. So, Susan, can we please start with a little bit about your very rich background and your education?
Sure, I'm happy to talk about that. Okay, so my college degree was in, of all things, geology. I was always drawn to rocks and the ocean particularly. I really thought I wanted to go into marine geology. So I studied geology at Wellesley College in the Boston area. And then when I graduated, decided I wasn't asking enough questions. So I thought, you know what, I'm not sure I'm really a science person. So started pursuing finance because I'm good with numbers. And so that led into my career in the investment world. I worked for Morgan Stanley and Vanguard, among a couple other companies, and client service. I've always been interested in helping people and serving people. So that was a good fit for me. And about 20 years ago or so, had an amazing experience that totally altered my view of the world. I had a very powerful, beautiful, loving experience the day my mother passed away. And it totally altered my sense of what is available to us in the world, because the experience was totally non-physical. And she spoke to me as she was passing away. And so that began a new point in my life where I decided I needed to find out why Mom came to me to comfort me when she passed and not to any of my other siblings. And so, or, why it happened that way. So that began my pursuit of studying spirit and things beyond the physical realm. And the following year, I developed breast cancer, and Mom was with me. Her spirit was with me and literally guided me through the entire thing. I thought I was going to die on the operating table. So I really was preparing with two small kids to not be here any longer. And again, had a very powerful experience with her and what I will call a very higher being that guided me through that time and helped me pursue even more, wanting to understand, okay, what is it about this world that we can't see? What happens beyond our physical realm? And so that was kind of really the kickoff of my spiritual journey and seeking deeper meaning in life. I thought I was being called to seminary. I studied in the Episcopal Church. I studied education for ministry, which is offered through University of the South. It's a 4-year college program, basically, for lay people without exams and papers and so forth. And it's distance learning. And worked at my church and learned that wasn't the right place either.
Was this after your mother and your breast cancer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was probably the 10 years after I was seeking and learning and pursuing. And then I did work at my church starting probably about 10 years ago. But at the same time, that's when I really started finding energy practices. I was magnetically drawn to my Reiki master before I even knew what Reiki was. I met her at a party and we were talking, and I literally invited her in the other room and said, I am feeling this, like this magnetic draw to you. What is that? What do you do?
Wow.
And so she said, let's meet. So we did. And so Nancy Boudry, introduced me to Reiki over 10 years ago. And that's when things really started opening up. And that led to Qigong, and it led to a number of other spiritual arts that I have been pursuing. So.
Wow. So you're also a Reiki master then?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So that was my first certification. So I became a Reiki master. I've also studied integrated energy therapy.
Which is?
It's working on an energetic level to help clear emotional and mental and as well as physical harm or detrimental energy.
Okay.
To remove it from organs. It's similar in a way. It's a little different technique, but it's very similar to medical Qigong.
Okay. And which you do have a certification in medical Qigong as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. So, and then I also I'm certified in teaching Qigong as a meditation. It's a moving meditation. So that's what I'm here to share today.
That's amazing. So you've just touched on that. I was going to ask you, what is this amazing gift of Qigong? And even further back than that, what are the origins of Qigong?
Great question. Okay, so Qigong is I'll introduce kind of what it is first and then talk a little bit about the background. It is, if you break it down, the word is Qi, which is spelled Q-I or maybe spelled C-H-I. And then Gong, G-O-N-G. So the Qi aspect of it is what's identified in as universal life force energy. It's this amazing cloud, if you will, that the world lives in of energy, moving energy that's invisible, that is accessible to all and living in everything. It's this universal life force energy. Gong is translated as practice or cultivation or even exercise. So if you put them together, it is an exercise in working with this life form, universal life form energy. So the origins of Qigong go back more than 5,000 years. In ancient China, sages and Taoist monks and shamans were very much aware and observant of the energy in nature and what made waterfalls fall and what made the planets move and what made rivers flow, what made plants grow. And as they studied and observed, they came to understand this universal life force, that not only was it everywhere, but it is something that could be cultivated. It was something that could be harnessed and used to help strengthen our bodies and to improve our health and to quiet our minds. And it was through these practices, they developed exercises and they worked with breath exercises. And they just experimented and learned that the opportunities were infinite and how you could tap into this amazing bubble or cloud of lovely Qi. So 5,000 years ago, this was underway. It was before the written word. And in China, the very first person to actually start discourse about it and putting it down in writing was the Yellow Emperor, who was an emperor in China about 2,700 years ago. 2,700 BC,
Okay.
But he was the first person to write down the idea of Qi and discourses about how it helps longevity. And his book, which has been a classic in Chinese medicine since he wrote it that many millennia ago, is called the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Internal Medicine. And from that, at the time, people were already practicing what's called now traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM. And there are many different branches of TCM, but primarily it involves acupuncture, acupressure, there's a nutrition part of it, but also the Qigong. The Qigong as a self-practice, which is what the meditation is that I would like to introduce today. And also the medical Qigong, which is more like an acupuncture treatment where it's a one-on-one, and it's actually someone lies down on on a massage table and receives a treatment for about 45 minutes. That is also very helpful, but that is not what I'm here. I'm here to talk about the meditation because it's so easily accessible to people and helpful. So that's.
So basically then, if you practice this beautiful moving meditation with your body and your breath, you can maintain your health. You can also enhance your health.
Yes.
You can also heal with it.
Yes, if practiced faithfully, okay, and also according to the kind of the instruction. It's generally something to do with other people and to be guided with, but once you understand what you're doing, yes, people can do this on their own or they can do it with others. And the beauty of doing it with others is, as in any energy practice, the more people that are part of the practice, the stronger the energy becomes. And it doesn't just grow by doubling with, say, one or two people. It grows geometrically. So the more people that you include in a Qigong meditation, the more powerful and the more healing the energy will be in that session.
Wow. So many people have a preconception of what the word meditation is, that you're sitting cross-legged and your hands are in some kind of mudra and you're being quiet and you're trying to not think. But I don't believe that's the meditation you're talking about. So could you give us a really good understanding of what a Qigong session looks like? What are the elements of what you're calling your Qigong meditation practice?
Sure. Okay. So in a medical Qigong, in a meditation of Qigong or Qigong meditation, it is open to all people. Okay, anybody can do this. It's very, very simple, very straightforward. You can do it from a seated position if for any reason you're tired or you just, for whatever reason, you don't have your full energy. But what happens is you are guided to stand in, you're in a standing position, okay? And you connect your feet to the ground and we go through a grounding exercise. Okay. And then there is a posture to it. So at the beginning of a class, we would talk about what the posture is. And the point of the posture is to help you become centered and stand strong, but be relaxed. The key is to relax and to open up all your joints. So in a Qigong session, we would start with doing stretching and loosening up and basically shaking out any, what we call toxic qi or detrimental qi, things that whether it's stress from work for the day or, anger at somebody that cut you off in the traffic or something like that. We want to get rid of that. We're going to toss it out. We call it tossing out the sick qi. Okay. And then you wind down and you go into this posture. And the posture, as I began to say, is you stand tall and firmly, but very relaxed. You relax your shoulders, you relax your hips, you relax your neck. And then we talk about breath work and we start working on, if you can envision a Buddha belly. Children, babies, usually have Buddha bellies.
Yeah, they do.
And believe it or not, when we come into this world, we know how to breathe through our bellies. We breathe into our bellies. And that's a very natural and healthy way to breathe. But in society, as we grow up, we start learning to breathe from our chest, which
Well,
is
there's a couple reasons for that, right?
yes, exactly.
We learn to suck in our belly so we look better.
That's right. That's
And
right.
that in turn sticks out our chest, which makes it look better. I mean, wow, what we're taught, what we are taught.
Exactly. So we are actually retraining people. If you're not breathing with your belly, you learn to breathe through your belly and to admire and embrace and love your Buddha belly.
Nice.
Because it's actually, when you breathe through your belly, it's creating a massage for your internal organs, and it's waking them up, and it's bringing blood flow and circulation and oxygen to parts of your body that may not necessarily get it every day because you're breathing from your chest. So there really is a powerful understanding and reason for doing this type of deep breathing into your belly. So that's part of the Qigong practice also. So you're doing this posture, you introduce the breathing. We also have visualizations where we can see, we think we see what the energy looks like. We envision that we're holding what's called an energy ball, but if you start playing with the energy around you, not only are you envisioning it in your mind, but you start, a lot of people, I'm not going to claim that people can do this, but a lot of people can start feeling the energy between your hands. We do energy games, I will say, so that it helps you start realizing and connecting and really touching into this energy field that's all around us. And it's such a beautiful thing. It's just so exciting. So, so we combine those three things. Medical, excuse me, I keep saying medical. The Qigong meditation does incorporate, it's the breath work, the posture, and then the visualization. So what we end up doing, once we've established the posture and the breathing, and we start the visualizations, we also start doing exercises. So there are forms, they call them forms, for different postures that are almost like a ballet. The point of moving slowly in these new forms is to allow the chi to flow around your body. And if you were to move too quickly, we're going to push the chi away. We won't be able to gather it. We won't be able to cultivate it. So these gentle movements are a way to work with the energy in such a way that you can incorporate it into your being. You can gather it, you can store it in your body. Now, part of traditional Chinese medicine also is this concept of meridians, and this has scientifically been proven in recent years, that our bodies do have this invisible channel or system of streams or channels of energy that run up and down our body and through our limbs. And it's through this meridian system that we are starting to work with. And there are also 3 major energy centers in our body. And of course, this is according to the traditional Chinese medicine. These 3 energy centers are called dantians. And there's one in our crown of our head, there's one in our heart center, and then there's one in our belly center. So the upper one is called the upper dantian. The heart center is called the middle dantian. And the belly region is called the lower dantian. So these Qigong exercises that we do are helping move the qi, which also helps move the blood, by the way, not only up and down these streams or meridians in our body, but it's also moving out from our organs and our cells. We're detoxing, we're cleansing out anything that no longer serves our health or our higher good. So these exercises are designed, the Chinese, again, have been doing this for 5,000 years. And so certainly stood the test of time, and it works.
Right.
I'm just getting goosebumps just talking about it because it is so powerful. That you can cleanse your whole body from things that are not good for you through these exercises. And within 20 minutes to half an hour, so you do the detox, then you build the qi, you cultivate the qi in these exercises, and then we walk through exercises and practices that help you not only store the qi, but balance it in your system. It balances throughout your body, throughout your organs, throughout all your cells, and we kind of put a seal on it, if you will, at the end, so that it is focused and stored in your gut, in your power center, in your solar plexus. Okay, so what happens is, and I find this fascinating, what I've read is that aerobic exercise is very, very good for us, right? Okay, so we all go out and we run, we jog. Some of us like to do distance running, 5K, 10K, whatever. I have a brother who's a marathon runner, and he's always run, and I admire that about him. But one of the things I've learned about that is that when your body is pushed like that, it creates adrenaline. So adrenaline is not something that's helpful to our body, and it also burns a lot of energy. The difference with this type of exercise is that not only is it not stressful at all, it's entirely relaxing, because you literally are standing in a relaxed pose, breathing in amazing new fresh oxygen and working peacefully in mind, body, and spirit, so that you actually use less energy than you create in this practice. So by the end of the practice, you are now storing additional energy into your power center for you to draw on later in that day. So if you do this every single day, you are building up the energy stores of your body. You're building up the cleanliness of your cells and your organs. You're building up the strength of your body, and you're building your immunity. It's really a win-win. It's an amazing practice and an amazing experience. I invite people to try it.
So that's how you've come to become a teacher, not just a practitioner for your own right, but you really feel called to help introduce this modality of enhanced health to others.
Definitely. It's been such a blessing in my life, because I have had anxiety most of my life, and I
don't know why you would. Morgan Stanley's not that kind of a high pressure job. And customer service isn't a high pressure thing. What are you talking about?
Oh, and I tend to be a perfectionist, so there you go.
You're right. Oh, well, that's a trifecta.
So yes, so it has been very beneficial, and I do want to share it. I think it's there's so many potential health benefits for it, and
Okay.
I want other people to know.
So
that.
just to let everyone know, you have left corporate America, and this is your new offering to the world, right?
Yeah, I still have a day job. It's not necessarily a high stress job, but I do have a day job that I love very much.
Okay.
It's stressful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in light of that, because I know, well, I'm going to tell a little secret about Susan. You all don't know, unless you went to Mount Shasta with us, that we went for a week to Mount Shasta with the amazing Jean Ang. And we were at Panther Meadows. There were 6 of us. How many of us were there? Yeah. And first of all, Mount Shasta's beautiful. Panther Meadows is just this, literally, if you can think of the most tranquil, nurturing piece of land. And if you think of the word meadow, it just brings up, like, you can imagine there's butterflies and there's a little trickling stream and there's these beautiful pine trees and you're just there and it's sunny and you're just like, oh, thank you for this day. And as if that wasn't enough, Susan beautifully and angelically offered us all a Qigong session in this setting. And I will tell you, if I think about it, my body gets tingly and happy. It was incredible, Susan. It really was.
Thank you.
It really
was a gift for all of us, I think. It really was. It was very, very special.
Yeah, it was. So we all can't travel to Mount Shasta with you every day. So tell us, please, what you offer, how you offer it. Do you do, is it in person? Could you do Zoom? Is it group? Is it personal? Like, how does it all work? How can we all work with you?
Oh, awesome. Thank you for asking. So I do offer classes. I can offer classes privately if anybody's interested. I'm starting to offer them on Zoom. And so you can sign up via, I think it is out on, why is it escaping me?
Well, I am going to have all of your information that you've given me previously for
Okay.
all of our audience to see.
Okay.
So that's fine. We'll find you. We will definitely find you.
Yeah, well, out of my website is where it will
Okay.
be.
Okay.
Yeah, but classes are generally about 45 minutes to an hour. And there are different types of classes. There's an organ cleansing one that's specific. There's, I will be offering sound healings, which are very powerful cleansings. There are simple nature exercises where you become a willow tree and just kind of float gently in the breeze. And it's a lot of it is very nature centered and just very, very peaceful. So yeah, so my website, and then I will be having some YouTube videos too that people can access anytime. If if the schedule is such that you don't have time during the day or evening to do it, you can do it when it fits in your schedule. So.
Okay. And so you have personal, what about group? Just
I can offer group classes too. Yeah, either on Zoom or in person.
okay. And are you still offering as well the medical Qigong sessions for private?
Yes, I can do that too.
Okay.
Yes, if people are interested. It's basically, as I think I mentioned, an acupuncture treatment without needles. So a person would just lie. It's almost like getting a massage, but I don't really touch you. And there are no needles involved.
Okay.
Oh, you just receive. You just lie there and receive.
It's an energetic acupuncture-ish. Like you don't touch the person, so it's okay.
So in a nutshell, what the medical Qigong is a treatment to clear stagnant energy. Okay, so it's an opportunity for a practitioner to kind of scan the person's body and understand where blockages are in the person's body and use ancient practices, ancient techniques from China to remove those blockages. The medical Qigong is called medical Qigong, but it's really not about medicine per se as we think of medicine. It's the actual practice is the clearing of stagnation.
Got it.
That you want to clear the flow of energy in your body so that blood can flow freely in your body. And that when there's a blockage in the human body, the Chinese learned that often is a place where dis-ease may develop, illness may start developing. So the point of Qigong, both the meditation and the medical Qigong, is to help the Qi and the blood flow through the body freely and openly as it is meant to by our Creator, how we are meant to be in our world, fully whole, fully happy, fully healthy. And I will say, I also will add that in China, Chinese doctors were only paid if their patients were whole and healthy. If their patients were not healthy, they weren't paid. So the whole concept of supporting wholeness and what is the word? Preventative care was part of their whole healthcare practice. It was all about prevention. It was all about staying healthy. And that's when the doctors were rewarded, was when they kept their patients healthy, not when they were sick, which I think is such a phenomenally awesome and perfect way to have healthcare set up. It just seems so clear that that's the right way to go. So that's another reason I embrace these practices. I think they're very special. So.
Wow. That concept is evolutionary, or and certainly opposite of what we experience at the moment. It's all about fixing the problem instead of preventing the problem and supporting the person. And I love how Qigong, I mean, you brought attention to the fact that I'm not breathing from my belly right now, so
we can work with that.
Right? So while you're talking, I'm like, okay, breathe from your belly, breathe from your belly. I mean, yeah, we're so mind focused, we're so head focused. We're like, okay, in this country, it's all about what you know, what information you can regurgitate, what information you can share. It's not so much about creativity and I'm going through the dantians, right? It's not so much about the creativity in the heart unless you're in Hollywood or unless you're a musician or an artist. Like normal everyday people are supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And like, where's your foundation come from? Your foundation is your lower dantian. And if we're not breathing
Mm-hmm.
and we're not letting that area get good blood flow and get good chi, I mean, my God, no wonder we're all exhausted.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And we all need to take a pill for something. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is amazing. It really, when you start, the strength that comes from it is really, it blows my mind because I've experienced it. It really works. It really works. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, Susan, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us today. I treasure all the insights and the wisdom that I've received, and I know that it has been so helpful for all of us to at least become aware of the concepts that you have shared with us today. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Kim. I really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of your Whisper Words of Wisdom and your happiness retreat. It's a very special thing that you're offering, and I am very grateful for all that you've done to support me and my practice.
Oh, you're
Blessings to
so
you, sweetie.
welcome. Oh, thank you. And to everyone watching, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Happiness Retreat. We hope you have gotten some inspiration, some motivation, some guidance, and some clarity in your connection with your soul and in becoming a master of your own energy. So, until next time.